Listen carefully. I will tell you about Amara, the girl born under a bad moon. The night she came into this world, the sky turned red like blood. Thunder shook the ground. Lightning split the ancient baobab tree in half. The elders said it was a warning from the ancestors. Amara's mother, Ola, screamed for hours during the birth. When the baby finally came, she was silent. No crying, no sound. The midwife held her up to the lamplight and gasped. The baby's eyes were open, staring, unblinking. One eye was brown like earth. The other eye was gray like ash. Different eyes, the midwife whispered. This child is marked. Word spread through the village of Quenu before sunrise. People gathered outside Ola's hut, whispering nervously. Different eyes meant different destiny. It meant the child was touched by spirits. Some said touched by good spirits. Others said evil ones. Ola's husband, Bako, looked at his daughter and felt fear crawl up his spine. He loved his wife, but this baby, this strange silent baby with mismatched eyes, made his stomach turn cold. That night, while Ola slept exhausted, Bako sat outside staring at the broken baobab tree, wondering what curse had entered his home. For 3 days, baby Amara did not cry. She drank milk. She slept. But no sound came from her mouth. The village elder, Papa Kofi, came to examine her. He was 90 years old with white hair and clouded eyes, but he knew the old ways. Papa Kofi touched Amara's forehead with his wrinkled hand. He looked into her mismatched eyes for a long time. The baby stared back at him without blinking. Papa Kofi pulled his hand away quickly, as if burned. What is it? Ola asked desperately. What is wrong with my daughter? Papa Kofi shook his head slowly. She sees things we cannot see. One eye looks at this world. The other eye looks at the world of spirits. This child is a bridge between two worlds. Is that good or bad? Bako asked, his voice shaking. I do not know, Papa Kofi admitted. But I do know this. Keep her safe. Do not let anyone harm her. Her destiny is bigger than all of us. That night, Amara finally cried. It was a loud, piercing cry that sounded almost like a warning. Dogs howled in response. Goats bleated nervously in their pens. Something had begun. As Amara grew, the strangeness continued. At 6 months old, she pointed at things no one else could see. She would giggle at empty corners. She would cry when certain people came near, as if she sensed something bad about them. When she was 2 years old, something terrible happened. A woman named Mama Saad came to visit Ola, bringing fruit as a gift. Little Amara saw Mama Saad approaching and began screaming. She screamed so loudly that her voice went hoarse. She hid behind her mother, trembling with fear. What is wrong with her? Mama Saad asked, offended. I only came to be friendly. Ola tried to calm Amara down, but the child would not stop shaking. Mama Saad left angrily. 3 days later, Mama Saad's husband died suddenly in his sleep. No sickness. No warning. Just dead. The village began to whisper. The girl saw death coming. She knew Mama Saad carried death with her. From that day forward, people watched Amara with suspicious eyes. When she played with other children, mothers pulled their sons and daughters away. Do not go near the cursed child, they warned. She brings bad luck. Amara grew lonely. Other children threw stones at her from a distance, calling her names. Witch girl. Devil eyes. Go away. She would run home crying, asking her mother why everyone hated her. Ola held her daughter close. They do not understand you, my child. You are special, not cursed. Your eyes see truth. People fear truth, but Bako grew more distant. He worked in the fields from sunrise to sunset, avoiding home. When he looked at Amara, he saw the broken baobab tree. He saw bad omens. He never held her. He never called her by name. He called her that girl, or simply said nothing. By the time Amara turned 7, she had learned to make herself invisible. She walked with her head down. She covered her gray eye with her long hair. She spoke only when spoken to. She became a ghost in her own village. One evening, she sat by the river alone, watching the water flow. She saw her reflection and hated it. Why did she have to be different? Why couldn't she be normal like everyone else? That is when she heard the voice for the first time. Child of two worlds, the voice whispered. It was soft like wind, but clear like a bell. Amara looked around. No one was there. Who said that? She called out nervously. I did. The voice came from the water. Amara looked down at her reflection. The reflection smiled, but Amara had not smiled. "Do not be afraid," the reflection said. "I am Yaya, guardian of the river. I have been watching you since the day you were born." Amara's heart pounded. "Are you a spirit?" "Yes," Yaya replied. "And you are the only living person who can see me with your gray eye. That is your gift, Amara. You see what others cannot." "It is not a gift," Amara said bitterly. "It is a curse. Everyone hates me." Yaya's reflection looked sad. "They hate what they do not understand. But one day, your gift will save them all. One day, they will beg for your help." "I do not want to help them," Amara said angrily. "They are cruel to me." "You will change your mind," Yaya said gently, "because you have a kind heart, even when others do not deserve it." The reflection faded, leaving Amara alone again. Confused and afraid, Amara told no one about Yaya. She visited the river every evening, and each time, Yaya appeared in the water to talk with her. Yaya taught her things. She explained that the spirit world and human world were separated by a thin veil. Most people could not see through the veil, but Amara could. "Your brown eye sees the living world," Yaya explained. "Your gray eye sees the dead and the spirits. That is why you knew death was near. Mama saw it. You saw the death spirit following her." Amara shivered. "I do not want to see death." "You cannot choose what you see," Yaya said. "But you can choose what you do with what you see. You can warn people. You can save lives." But Amara did not want to warn anyone. The village had been cruel to her for years. Let them face their own deaths, she thought bitterly. 3 months passed. Amara turned 8 years old. No one celebrated. Her mother made her a small cake, but Bako did not even acknowledge the day. Amara ate her cake alone, tears mixing with the sweetness. That night, something dark entered the village. It started with the chickens. Families woke up to find their chickens dead in their coops. Not eaten, not stolen, just dead, lying stiff with their eyes wide open, as if they had seen something terrifying. Then the goats began dying. One by one, healthy goats dropped dead in the fields. No disease, no injuries, just sudden death. The farmers were panicking. "Something evil is among us," Papa Kofi announced in the village square. "The animals see it, and it kills them before they can warn us." People looked at each other with suspicion and fear. Some looked at Amara. "The cursed child brought this," someone muttered. "Ever since she was born, bad things happen." Amara stood at the edge of the crowd, invisible as always. But with her gray eye, she saw something no one else could see. A dark shadow moved through the village. It was tall and shapeless, like smoke given form. It drifted from house to house, touching animals, draining their life. Amara's heart raced. She knew what it was. A death spirit, but not a natural one. This one had been sent by someone. Someone with dark magic. That night, Amara ran to the river. "Yaya," she called desperately. "Yaya, please appear." The water rippled and Yaya's face emerged. "I know why you have come. You have seen the shadow. What is it?" Amara asked, trembling. "Why is it killing the animals?" "It is a curse sent by a jealous sorcerer from a neighboring village," Yaya explained. "He wants to weaken Kwenu before he attacks. First the animals die. Then the children will fall sick. Then the adults. Within 2 months, your village will be destroyed." Amara felt cold all over. "Can it be stopped?" "Yes," Yaya said. "But only by someone who can see it. Only by someone who walks between 2 worlds. Only by you, Amara, me." Amara's voice cracked. "I am just a child. No one listens to me. They hate me, I know," Yaya said softly. "But you are the only one who can save them. The shadow grows stronger every night. If you do nothing, everyone you know will die, including your mother." Amara thought of Ola, the only person who loved her. Tears filled her eyes. "What must I do?" Yaya told Amara the plan. "The shadow feeds on fear and darkness. It cannot survive in pure light, but not sunlight or firelight. Spiritual light. You must gather the tears of someone who loves you truly, mix them with river water blessed by the ancestors, and sprinkle the mixture around the village borders at midnight. This will create a barrier the shadow cannot cross. Tears of someone who loves me." Amara repeated. "Only my mother loves me, then you must ask her," Yaya said. The next morning, Amara approached her mother. Ola was grinding corn, her face tired and worried. "Mama," Amara said quietly, "I need to tell you something. Please do not think I am crazy Ola stopped grinding and looked at her daughter. "What is it, my child?" Amara took a deep breath and explained everything. The spirit in the river, the shadow she could see, the curse on the village, the ritual that could save everyone. Ola listened without interrupting. When Amara finished, silence filled the hut. Then Ola began to cry. Tears streamed down her face. "I believe you," Ola whispered. "I have always known you were special. Here, take my tears." She cupped her hands and let her tears pool in her palms. Amara carefully collected her mother's tears in a small clay pot. That evening, she ran to the river. Yaya appeared immediately. "I have the tears," Amara said, showing the pot. "Good," Yaya replied. "Now, lower the pot into the river water here, where I dwell. The ancestors have blessed this part of the river for generations." Mix the tears with the water. Amara did as instructed. As the tears mixed with the river water, the liquid began to glow with a soft silver light. It was beautiful and terrifying. "Tonight at midnight," Yaya said, "you must walk the borders of the village, sprinkling this mixture. Do not miss any spot, or the shadow will find a way in. And Amara, be careful. The shadow will sense what you are doing. It will try to stop you." Amara's hand shook. "What if it attacks me?" "Your gray eye can see it, which means you can also face it," Yaya said. "Be brave, child. Your village's survival depends on you." As darkness fell, Amara hid the glowing pot under her sleeping mat. She waited. The hours crawled by slowly. She heard her father snoring, her mother's gentle breathing. Outside, the night was silent and heavy. At midnight, Amara crept out of the hut. The village was dark and sleeping. Only a few torches flickered near the chief's compound. Amara carried the glowing pot carefully, her heart hammering in her chest. She started at the eastern edge of the village, where the path led to the forest. She sprinkled the sacred mixture on the ground, watching as it absorbed into the earth and created a faint glowing line. It was working. She moved slowly, carefully, marking the border. North, west, south. The village was large, and the work was slow. Her arms grew tired. Her legs ached. But she continued, remembering her mother's tears, remembering Yaya's words. Then, halfway through the southern border, she felt it. A cold presence behind her. She turned slowly, and with her gray eye, she saw the shadow. It was massive up close, towering over her like a dark giant. It had no face, but she felt its anger radiating like heat. "You dare interfere with my work?" The shadow's voice was like grinding stones. "You are just a child. A cursed, unwanted child. Leave now, or I will devour you." Amara's legs trembled, but she stood her ground. "I will not leave," Amara said, her voice shaking but determined. "This is my village. These are my people." The shadow laughed, a horrible sound like wind howling through empty caves. "Your people. They hate you. They throw stones at you. They call you cursed. Why would you save them?" Amara felt tears forming. The shadow was right. They did hate her. They had made her life miserable. But she thought of her mother's kind face. She thought of the innocent children who had done nothing wrong. She thought of the possibility that maybe, just maybe, they could change, because it is the right thing to do. She whispered. The shadow lunged at her. Amara screamed and threw the remaining sacred water at it. The liquid hit the shadow, and it shrieked, recoiling. Where the water touched, the darkness burned away like paper in fire. "You will pay for this." The shadow roared. It tried to circle around her, looking for an opening to attack. But Amara kept sprinkling the sacred mixture, completing the border. The glowing line connected, forming a complete circle around the village. The moment the circle closed, a barrier of silver light shot up into the sky. The shadows screamed and fled, unable to cross the protective boundary. Amara collapsed on the ground, exhausted. The pot was empty. Her hands were shaking. But it was done. The village was protected. She dragged herself home and fell onto her mat, asleep before her head settled. The next morning, something miraculous happened. The animals stopped dying. The dark, oppressive feeling that had hung over the village lifted like morning mist. People woke up feeling lighter, safer, though they did not know why. Papa Kofi called an emergency meeting in the village square. "The curse has been broken," he announced. "Something or someone protected us in the night. The ancestors have shown mercy." People whispered and wondered. Who could have saved them? Some praised the ancestors. Some praised Papa Kofi's prayers. No one thought of Amara. Amara sat at the edge of the crowd as always, watching silently. Part of her wanted to shout, "It was me. I saved you all." But another part of her knew they would not believe her. They would probably accuse her of causing the curse in the first place. So she stayed silent, invisible, saving a village that did not even know she existed. But Yaya knew. That evening at the river, the spirit smiled at Amara. "You did well, brave child. You faced the shadow and won." "They do not know," Amara said sadly. "They still hate me, perhaps," Yaya said. "But you know. And your mother knows. And I know." Sometimes that is enough. For a few weeks, life returned to normal. The animals were healthy again. Crops grew well. People laughed and sang. Amara remained invisible, but she felt a small warmth in her heart. She had done something good, even if no one acknowledged it. But peace never lasts forever in stories like this. 1 month later, the chief's son, a boy named Aid, fell terribly ill. He was 10 years old, strong and healthy one day, then burning with fever the next. The village healer tried every medicine. Nothing worked. Aid grew weaker daily, his skin turning gray, his breathing shallow. The chief, a powerful man named Chief Hogan, was desperate. He loved his son more than anything. He called all the healers from surrounding villages. None could cure Aid. Papa Kofi examined the boy, and his face grew grave. "This is not a natural sickness," Papa Kofi told Chief Hogan. "This is spiritual. Something from the other world is draining the boy's life force." Chief Hogan fell to his knees. "Please, tell me what to do. I will pay anything. I will sacrifice anything." Papa Kofi looked troubled. "There is only one person in this village who can see into the spirit world. Only one person who can find what is attacking your son." "Who?" Chief Hogan demanded. "Tell me, and I will bring them here immediately." Papa Kofi hesitated. He looked around at the gathered villagers, then finally spoke. "The girl with different eyes, Amara," the crowd gasped. Whispers exploded like fire. "The cursed child. Are you mad? She is the curse, not the cure." Chief Hogan's face twisted with disgust. "That girl. The witch girl. No. I will not allow her near my son. She will kill him." Papa Kofi stood firm. "Then your son will die anyway. She is your only hope." Chief Hogan stared at the old man, his jaw clenched. His pride fought with his desperation. Finally, love for his son won. "Bring her," he said through gritted teeth. 2 guards came to Amra's hut that evening. "The chief summons you," they said roughly. "Come now." Ola gripped her daughter's hand. "What do they want with her?" "The chief's son is dying. The elder says she can help." Amara felt fear and excitement mix in her stomach. This was her chance to prove herself, or to fail spectacularly in front of everyone. At the chief's compound, a crowd had gathered. They parted reluctantly as Amara walked through, their eyes filled with suspicion and hatred. She heard the whispers. "Witch, curse, she will kill him." Inside the hut, Chief Hogan stood beside his son's bed. Aid lay motionless, barely breathing. The chief looked at Amara with barely concealed disgust. "My elder says you can see things others cannot," Chief Hogan said coldly. "If you can save my son, I will reward you. If you harm him, I will banish you and your family from this village forever. Do you understand?" Amara nodded, her throat too tight to speak. She approached the bed slowly. With her brown eye, she saw a sick boy. But with her gray eye, she saw something horrible. Wrapped around Aid's body was a spirit creature unlike anything Amara had seen before. It looked like a giant leech, translucent and pulsing. It was attached to Aid's chest, drinking his life force. The boy's spirit was fading, becoming transparent. Amara gasped. "There is a life-draining spirit attached to him. It is feeding on him," the crowd murmured. Chief Hogan stepped closer, his eyes narrowing. "Can you remove it?" "I do not know," Amara admitted honestly. "I can see it, but I have never fought one before." "Try," Chief Hogan commanded. Now, Amara closed her brown eye, focusing only with her gray eye. She reached out slowly toward the spirit creature. The moment her hand got close, the creature's head snapped toward her. It had no eyes, but she felt it seeing her. It hissed, a sound like steam escaping. "You dare touch me, little walker between worlds. I will devour you too." Amara jerked her hand back. The creature was strong, ancient, and angry. How could she possibly fight it? She looked around desperately, but everyone was watching her with doubt and suspicion. No one would help. She was alone, Then she remembered Yaya's words. You can see it, which means you can face it. Amara took a deep breath. She thought about her mother's love. She thought about innocent Aid, dying through no fault of his own. She thought about the shadow she had defeated before. I am Amara, she said loudly, both to the spirit and to herself. I walk between worlds. I am not cursed. I am chosen. She reached out again, and this time she did not pull back. Her hand touched the spirit creature. It burned like ice, but she held on. The creature shrieked and tried to pull away. Let him go. Amara commanded. Never. The creature hissed. I was sent by the same sorcerer who sent the shadow. I will finish what he started. Amara realized then that this was revenge. The sorcerer was angry that his shadow had been defeated, so he sent something worse. She gripped the creature tighter. She focused all her will, all her love for her mother, all her desire to prove she was not a curse. Silver light began to glow from her gray eye, the same light as the sacred water. The creature screamed. It released Aid and tried to escape, but Amara held on. The silver light grew brighter, burning the creature like acid. It dissolved into smoke and vanished. Amara stumbled backward, exhausted. For a moment, nothing happened. The crowd held its breath. Chief Ogun leaned over his son anxiously, then Aid coughed. Color returned to his cheeks. His eyes fluttered open. Father, he whispered weakly. Chief Ogun cried out in joy. He embraced his son, tears streaming down his face. You are alive. My son, you are alive. The crowd erupted. Some people cheered. Others looked confused. A few still looked suspicious. But the chief's son was healed. That was undeniable. Chief Ogun turned to Amara. His face was complicated, shame and gratitude fighting for control. You saved him, he said slowly. You saved my son. Amara stood there, small and tired, waiting for him to continue. I was wrong about you, Chief Ogun admitted. I called you cursed. I judged you for your different eyes. But you have a gift. A powerful gift. Forgive me. Amara felt tears welling up. This was the first time an adult other than her mother had ever apologized to her or shown her respect. I forgive you, she whispered. News of Amara's healing spread through the village like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone wanted to talk to her. People who had thrown stones at her now smiled nervously. Children who had called her witch now wanted to be her friend, but Amara was not stupid. She knew they only cared because she had proven useful. If she had failed, they would have blamed her and driven her away. Still, Chief Ogun kept his word. He gave Amara's family 3 goats, a bag of grain, and a new hut with a strong roof. For the first time, they were not poor. For the first time, Bako looked at his daughter with something other than shame. Perhaps, Bako said one evening, I have been blind. Perhaps your eyes see things mine cannot. It was not much, but it was the first kind words he had ever spoken to Amara. She wanted to hug him, but held back. Trust had to be earned slowly. Weeks passed peacefully. Amara helped several other sick people, seeing spirits that were troubling them and driving the spirits away. She became known as the healer girl instead of the cursed child. It felt good. It felt like acceptance, but Yaya warned her. Do not trust too easily, the river spirit said. People's memories are short. They love you now because you serve them. What happens when they no longer need you? Amara dismissed the warning. Surely people had changed. Surely they saw her value now. She was wrong. The trouble began when crops started failing. The rains came late, and when they finally arrived, they were too harsh, flooding the fields and washing away seeds. The village faced hunger. People grew desperate and angry. They looked for someone to blame. And old habits die hard. This started happening after the cursed child began using her powers openly. Someone muttered in the market, maybe. Her magic angered the ancestors. Another person agreed a maybe she is bringing bad luck again. The whispers grew louder. Within days, the warmth toward Amara turned cold again. People stopped greeting her. Mothers pulled their children away. Even Chief Ogun avoided her eyes when she passed his compound. Amara could not believe it. She had saved them. She had healed the chief's son. How could they turn on her so quickly? One evening, a group of angry villagers gathered outside her family's hut. They shouted accusations. Your daughter's magic is cursing our crops. Send her away. Sacrifice her to appease the ancestors. Ola stood at the door, protecting Amara. She has done nothing wrong. You are being foolish. Foolish? An angry farmer yelled, "My children are starving. We need someone to blame, and it is her. It has always been her." Bako stood behind his wife, conflicted. Part of him wanted to defend Amara, but part of him still feared his neighbor's anger. Papa Kofi arrived, pushing through the crowd with his walking stick. "Enough!" His old voice cracked like thunder. "Have you all lost your minds? This girl saved you from the shadow. She healed the chief's son. And now you want to sacrifice her because your crops failed due to bad weather. The timing is suspicious." Someone shouted, "Timing is coincidence." Papa Kofi shot back, "The rains fail every few years. This is nature, not magic," but fear and hunger made people irrational. The crowd grew more aggressive. Someone threw a stone. It hit Amra's shoulder and she cried out in pain. That was when Bako finally moved. He stepped forward, standing beside his wife. "The elder is right. My daughter is not to blame. If you want someone to punish, you will have to go through me first." It was the first time Bako had truly defended Amara. She felt tears streaming down her face, but this time they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of gratitude. The crowd hesitated. They respected Bako as a hard worker and honest man. But their fear was stronger. "We will give you 1 week, the farmer said. "If the crops do not improve, the girl must leave the village or face the consequences." The crowd dispersed, leaving the family shaken but alive. That night, Amara ran to the river, sobbing, "Yaya, they want to kill me. What do I do?" Yaya appeared, her face sad. "I warned you, child. People are fickle. They love you when you are useful and hate you when they are afraid. Is there a way to save the crops?" Amara asked desperately. "Can I fix this?" Yaya was quiet for a long moment. "There is a way," she finally said, "but it requires a great sacrifice." "What sacrifice?" Amara asked. "You must give up one of your eyes," Yaya said softly. "Your gray eye that sees the spirit world. If you offer it to the river, I can channel its power to heal the land and bring proper rains. The crops will be saved." Amara felt cold all over. "Give up my eye. I will be blind in one side." "Yes," Yaya confirmed. "And you will lose your ability to see spirits. You will become normal, like everyone else. No more walking between worlds. No more healing. No more gift. But then I will just be regular," Amara whispered. "I will not be special anymore. You will be alive," Yaya said. "And your village will survive. But the choice is yours. You do not owe them this sacrifice. They have been cruel to you. You could leave, find another village, start a new life." Amara sat by the water, thinking. All night, Amara wrestled with her decision. She could leave. She could take her family and go somewhere new, somewhere she might be accepted. She did not owe this village anything, but she thought about the children who would starve if the crops failed. She thought about her mother, who loved this village despite everything. She thought about Bako, who had finally stood up for her, and she thought about who she wanted to be. Did she want to be someone who ran away when things got hard? Or someone who saved people even when they did not deserve it? By sunrise, her decision was made. She returned to the river and called Yaya. "I will do it," she said quietly. "I will give my eye." Yaya looked at her with deep respect. "You are braver than any warrior I have known." Lie down by the water's edge. Amara lay down on the smooth river rocks. She was terrified, but she did not shake. Yaya's watery hand reached out and touched Amara's gray eye. There was a bright flash of silver light and then searing pain. Amara screamed. When the light faded, her gray eye was gone, replaced with an empty socket that quickly healed over with smooth skin, leaving her with one brown eye and a closed eyelid where the gray eye had been. The moment Amara's eye entered the river, the water began to glow. The glow spread outward, flowing into the irrigation streams, seeping into the soil. Storm clouds gathered overhead, but these were gentle clouds, not violent ones. Rain began to fall. Soft, steady, perfect rain. It fell for 3 days and 3 nights, soaking the earth, reviving the crops. The village was saved. When Amara returned home, her mother screamed at the sight of her missing eye. "What have you done?" "I saved the village," Amara said simply. Again, word spread quickly. People came to see the miracle rain and heard about Amara's sacrifice. Shame fell over the village like a blanket. Chief Ogun came to her home and knelt before her. "You gave your eye for us," he said, his voice breaking. "After everything we did to you, after we threatened you, you saved us anyway." Amara looked at him with her one remaining eye. I did it because it was right. Not because you deserved it. From that day forward, Amara was honored in the village. They built a shrine by the river in her name. Children were taught her story. And though she could no longer see spirits, she became a wise counselor, helping people with her insight and compassion. Bako became a devoted father. Ola lived to see her grandchildren honor their brave grandmother. And Amara, the girl they called a curse, became the village's greatest hero. She had lost an eye, but gained something greater. She learned that true strength is not in having power, but in choosing to use it for good, even when others do not deserve it. That is the lesson of Amara, and that is why we tell her story still. The end.